My name's Ruth Bolister and I'm one of the oboe teaching staff here at Trinity Laban. My tea, I like normal, just like traditional tea, not too strong, sort of medium strength, and a bit of normal milk, but not too milky. I suppose just pretty middle of the road basically, but no sugar, nothing weird, just traditional builders, I suppose, essentially. Perhaps not quite as strong as builders, but sort of medium, middle of the road, British cup of tea. My main role in the music industry is that I'm Principal Oboe at English National Opera in the orchestra there. It's a lovely job and I've been really lucky to be there for 24 years now, and we play in the London Coliseum on St Martin's Lane. And I've also, again, been fortunate during my career. I've played as guest principal oboe with quite a lot of the other orchestras in various settings, I suppose some chamber, some symphony, and very occasionally in some of the commercial work in the studios as well. I've had the chance to do some amazing concerts. I suppose you look back and think when you got to play in the Proms is always a highlight. But then thinking of my career in the theatre, I suppose the time when the treat pieces you really look forward to are when we get to play any Wagner or Richard Strauss, and particularly Wagner actually. There's the orchestral scores, they're just a whole world within worlds within worlds, and I also think Wagner writes particularly beautifully for the oboe, so sort of playing first oboe in those parts, you just get the most gorgeous music to get your teeth into, and really that music is only played in its full in the whole expanse of the pieces in the pit. So you'd have to say to play those Wagner operas in real life in the pit with amazing singers has probably been the best thing I've done. The oboe is such a beautiful instrument. It's really individual. As we all know, the reeds are a big part of your life with the oboe, and so everybody makes their own or purchases their own and then adjusts them their own style of reed. So there's something about the oboe, it's a very idiosyncratic instrument. I think it's the instrument where even today people have most got their own individual voice, and from different countries have still got their own schools of playing, which I really like. I also think with the oboe, it's so close to the human voice, and there's something about when everything is right with the oboe, the tone, it's sweet, but it's bittersweet, and it just really sort of catches you. I just think it's an incredibly expressive instrument. When I'm teaching the oboe, it's getting a balance between the things that we have to do to make it work, to be able to deliver the music, and then remembering at the end of the day we've put all those things in place so that we can be musicians, so we can be expressive people, we can create something beautiful and show lovely ideas and make the music come to life. So I do spend a lot of my time with my students getting those technical basics right, but particularly looking at technique in a sort of holistic sense. So it's not only a question of how fast can I play my scales or nothing mechanical. Technique means how can I produce the most beautiful, the richest sound that I can possibly produce. And that's so important because often in the orchestra the things we have to play on an oboe might not be particularly fast or particularly racing around, but they will be a really telling moment in that piece, and we want to deliver something that is just beautiful and expressive, and that is the #1 goal with the oboe. The main thing I would say is if you're interested to come and study at Trinity Laban and study the oboe in particular, all you need is, do you love the oboe? Do you really love the oboe so much that you can devote yourself to it and that you're prepared to stick with it when we have these obstacles, which I suppose we do on the oboe? My reed doesn't work, a pad's fallen off it, something didn't come out, it did a bit of a squeak. So there's something about the oboe I think is actually more about the character of the players, necessarily more than something like I've learnt this, I've learnt this. Of course it's great, I would say, if you can come with a basic knowledge, you know your scales, you've started to look at some of the core repertoire, that's really good. But I mean, we've got a super department here, and in particular we've got a lovely reed room which is brand new with all the latest equipment, which Max Spears, our reed professor, has spent ages setting up. So there's a huge amount of support from him, and with all the equipment here to get going on your reed making, which of course as an oboist you would know is so fundamental. And we've got also a great set of teaching staff with people really from working in all areas across London, chambers, symphony orchestras, going in the West End shows, doing some commercial work in the studios, ballet, opera like myself. So I mean, there's a huge bank of expertise and very caring people here. So I would say you can have all the help you need to succeed in the oboe here, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to spoil you. This is it's a conservatoire, and I personally would be teaching everyone, and we all would be helping people to aim to be really the best, but there's going to be a lot of help and love and care for you along the way.